You'll die. Sadly, in my movies, everyone dies.
It starts like a normal date night in Anchorage. Two people pull up to a store. One goes inside to buy drinks. The other waits in the truck. But this isn't a date night. This is September 6, 2019, and the man in the truck is 48-year-old Brian Stephen Smith. The woman with him is Valerie Kastler. Valerie doesn't know it yet, but police will later say Brian is a serial killer. And even worse, investigators believe there's already a victim connected to him from the day before. Surveillance cameras show Brian and Valerie arriving in a local shop in Anchorage, Alaska. From the outside, nothing looks unusual, just a man and his date stepping into a routine stop. Brian walks inside to buy drinks, leaving Valerie alone in the truck, and in that quiet moment, she reaches down and accidentally grabs a phone. Not her phone, his. At first, it probably feels like nothing, just a mix-up, but that small mistake becomes one of the biggest breaks in the entire case, because what Valerie finds on that device will point police straight to Brian's hidden life. And the first disturbing detail that cracked this case open is what Brian recorded himself. 6 hours earlier, Brian is at home after work. He has a glass of whiskey, then decides to go for a late-night drive through Anchorage. Near the Carr's grocery store at Gamble Street and East 13th Avenue, he spots 52-year-old Valerie Kastler standing near the road. Brian pulls over and offers her a ride. For the next few hours, Valerie says they spend time together, driving around, talking, even stopping by an airport to watch planes take off into the night sky. It's late. It feels like a strange, impulsive hangout, but not dangerous, until the moment she's left alone with his phone. Around 2 a.m., Brian pulls into a gas station to use the ATM. He heads inside, leaving Valerie in the vehicle again. While waiting, Valerie drops her own phone onto the floor, and when she reaches down, she grabs two phones.
When I reached down, I grabbed two phones. And you get like that chill feeling, you know? Something was not right.
Valerie slips the phone into her pocket. Meanwhile, Brian is on camera inside the store buying snacks and drinks like everything is normal. For the next few hours, they continue spending time together. Eventually, Valerie returns to her tent, and that's when the second disturbing detail starts to reveal itself. Valerie pulls the phone out and begins looking through it. At first, it's small things, contacts she doesn't recognize, numbers she doesn't know. Then it hits her. This isn't her phone. And as she scrolls, she finds a folder with a name that instantly makes her stomach drop. Homicide, Marriott Hotel, Midtown Anchorage. What she sees inside is so disturbing that we're not going into graphic detail here.
Just put your face forward, you stupid. Do people have to be taught how to die these days? After 112,000 years of evolution, we haven't learned to die. Huh? I don't have time for you. Secure your sweaty ass down to my car and go dump you somewhere, huh?
Valerie keeps scrolling. The content is consistent. The same voice, the same kind of footage. And it's not just one file. It's a pattern. Then she reaches something that makes it feel painfully real.
His voice and her body laying on the floor of the hotel. And he stepped on her throat and he said, "You're not leaving here alive. I'm killing you."
This is the moment Valerie understands the danger she may be in, because this isn't some creepy fantasy folder. This looks like real evidence of real harm. Over the next few days, Valerie becomes terrified to even step outside. She retreats into the woods and stays in her tent, paranoid that Brian will realize she has something of his. She believes if he finds her, she could become the next victim. But eventually, she turns the SD card and footage over to the police, and when detectives see what she brought in, the third disturbing detail begins to form. Because now it's not just the recordings, it's the timeline, it's the dates, it's the location, and it's the digital trail Brian left behind.
This was the worst thing I've ever seen happen to a human being.
Detectives review the footage again and again. and one of them notices something. The voice, the tone, the accent. It feels familiar. It reminds them of someone connected to a previous investigation. That name, Brian Stephen Smith. Now investigators start building the timeline. They learn that human remains found at mile 108 of the Seward Highway belong to 30-year-old Kathleen Jo Henry. The investigation begins to tighten around Brian, and the FBI joins in. Then comes the moment that ties everything together.
The FBI told us, hey, his phone is hitting off a tower near mile 108, the Seward Highway. And also, there was a timestamp on one of the images with Kathleen Jo Henry in the back of the pickup truck. And that was also like an aha moment, because his phone's hitting here at this time, this image is at this time, and it's at the location where the remains were found.
Now, detectives believe they have probable cause, but there's a problem. Brian isn't even in Alaska. He's on vacation with his wife in Washington, D.C., so investigators plan it carefully. Officers position at the airport. The moment Brian lands back in Alaska, he's taken into custody and brought in.
Obviously, we're here at the airport. They brought you up here to talk to me, so we have some kind of a formality to get by. I have to read you what's called a Miranda warning. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Brian says he understands, but he's clearly caught off guard. He doesn't know what they have.
Like I said, we have some matters we need to clear up, and the thing we need to talk about is recently some property was brought to APD, and I was given that property as a little SD card. And I watched that SD card and I looked at it, and that's what I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
So what can you tell me? Because you mentioned the SD card and the GoPro camera. So what can you tell me about that?
Well, usually everything I record is stuff from my trips when I go out camping. That's why I got a GoPro. It's got a very high frame rate. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to capture, if you ever look on YouTube, you'll see the guys shooting through like latex or through bottles or something, and you can see the bullet going through.
So shooting a bullet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Brian tries to steer the conversation into normal hobby footage. He talks about recording trips and outdoor activities like he's explaining YouTube content. But detectives don't bite. They keep it simple. They tell him the SD card led them to him.
Well, and so like I said, this was brought to APD and given to me. And like I said, I viewed the images and the videos on that SD card.
Yeah.
And that's obviously that's how I got to you. That's how I figured out who you are.
Okay.
And that's what we need to clear up that matter of what's on that SD card.
Okay, what's on the card?
Detectives start with smaller steps. They show him images connected to a vehicle matching his. They ask about a hotel stay. They ask about a woman he picked up and brought to a room. He admits parts of it. Then they bring out photos of the woman seen in the footage.
I just wanted to show you these pictures, see if they would help you kind of refresh the girl from that night.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not her.
Not her?
Just short hair.
Short hair, okay.
Short hair, no.
Okay, all right.
She looks like a drug addict.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this woman before?
No.
But detectives already have the structure, timestamps, hotel records, the SD card content, and the voice. So they lay out how the digital evidence points directly at him.
The images led me to you. There was images on there that led me to you, and for multiple reasons. The truck, like I said, I knew that was your truck. You're saying that's your truck in the photographs. Mm-hmm. There's pictures of the Marriott. There's pictures of the Marriott, the hotel room on the GoPro, or excuse me, on that SD card. And that's how I knew it was that Marriott. It was the Midtown Marriott.
Okay.
And the pictures, I don't know, you probably know about this. I think you're into technology and stuff. Yeah. Photographs, they have a time and date stamp. So the photographs are time and date stamped. So the photographs time and date stamp matched at the time that you were at that hotel room.
Okay.
So that's how this SD card has led me to you.
Okay.
And like I said, there's a number of images on there, and there's a number of videos on there, and I brought some of the pictures to kind of go over with you about that. So this is one of the images on there. Part of it is kind of cut down a little bit, but can you tell me what's in that photo?
There's somebody's feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whose feet are those?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm looking at your shoes. I mean, it looks like the shoes you're wearing right now.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Then detectives go further.
These are just some of the other images on there.
Okay.
These are on the SD card.
Okay.
So what can you tell me about these photos?
This looks like someone that's really been beaten up a bit.
Okay. And these are images. These are images, but there's also videos of this person.
Yeah.
And another person in the room as well. And that's why we're here to talk to you about.
How many people in the room?
At least 2.
Oh. Yeah.
So we need to address this. We need to clear this up.
Okay.
Mr. Smith.
That question is another tell, because he's no longer asking, "What is this?" He's asking, "How much did you see?" And when he finally realizes detectives are connecting the voice too, he panics.
You think I hit this girl?
Well, like I said, there's videos of it. There's video of it, there's audio of it, there's a voice I've been talking to you now for almost 30, 40 minutes, and I know it was your voice I could hear in the video.
Okay.
And if you'd like to hear some of that, I can refresh your memory with it.
The same pictures are on the SD card with your truck that you said was your truck.
Yeah, these are all on the same as your truck here, so.
It sounds like me. What's happening when that's...
What's happening is on this video, on these images, the person that's recording it is holding the recorder and is standing basically above this girl and strangling her.
Okay.
And so we need to talk about this. We need to get ahead of this, Mr. Smith.
I don't want to act stupid, but I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything.
Okay.
Now he switches to the classic memory wall, but detectives don't accept it because they've watched the videos and they know he's narrating in them.
And you talking in the and like I said, there's about 12 of these videos, and I've watched every single one of them multiple times, unfortunately. And you talking, you know what you're doing in those videos. I mean, you're describing what's going on in those videos. And so, Mr. Smith, I don't believe that you don't remember this happening. And like I said, we need to talk. We need to get ahead of this because this is pretty big here.
Yeah, but this is not the girl I picked up.
Okay.
At the same time, detectives obtain his movements through phone records. Data places his phone near the Seward Highway, near the same area where remains were found, and surveillance cameras capture his truck heading in that direction. So when Brian keeps denying, detectives push the logic.
Okay, I don't remember anything else. Really, I'm sorry.
I think you do remember it, Mr. Smith, and we need it. And like I said, we need to talk about it because right now, this right here is a small portion of this investigation, but this is just a small part of a very large investigation. And we're talking to people. We're talking to your wife. Okay.
Whenever you've spoken to her.
We're talking to her right now.
Right now.
That's a pressure move, and it works. Because after that, Brian changes his posture. He realizes the walls are closing in, and he suddenly offers a story.
Yeah, well, look, this sounds very serious, no matter what. I'm going to be in deep. So, okay, I'll tell you what I remember. The next day at work, I saw something dripping out the back of my truck. And I was like, what? And I opened up, and there was somebody there underneath stuff. Like there was a blue, like a top at the back of my truck. And the back flap doesn't really lock. I've actually put a padlock on now since then. And I saw somebody, and I was like, what must I do? What must I do? And because I've been out before, I thought, who's going to believe me? It's like the guy that gets stopped and he's got drugs in his pocket and it's like, it's not mine, that's the way I was feeling, No one's going to believe me. So I was thinking for a long time, what must I do? And then the one night I thought, well, I've got to get rid of this. I can't. And I drove out and I did.
This is the contradiction moment. He's describing it like it happened to him, not like he did it. Like he found something and panicked. like the truck just magically had a body inside it. But then later, in a jail TV interview, he tries to rewrite that too.
What was in the back of my truck was not Kathleen Henry. When I said to the police the body, it's because the police had told me that there was a body in the back of my truck. I did not know what was in the back of my truck. It was not a body. It was, I've seen a YouTube once of a bear cub that was skinned, and it looked, in my mind, X-ray vision through that, that's what that could have been, or it was a mannequin.
The problem is that excuse doesn't erase timestamps. It doesn't erase tower pings. It doesn't erase hotel records. And it definitely doesn't erase his own recordings.
Why didn't you, when you saw it dripping out of the back of your truck, and
I was scared.
If you didn't remember what happened, why didn't you call somebody and say, hey, there's somebody in the back of my truck?
Well, that's the thing. Who would believe me? It's like I said, it's like the guy walking around, police found drugs in his pocket, and he says, no, it's not mine, and everybody says, oh, yes, we believe you, It's the same thing. Who would have believed me that I found something in the back of my truck?
On the same SD card that has all these photos on it and videos of you killing her. So tell me how a body can be found in the back of your truck randomly while you're at work, because you want us to believe somebody else put that body in there. And then you just happen to drive it out there, and there's photographs
on the same SD card.
On the same SD card of this woman in the back of your truck with the sheets that are on that card.
And because the footage is so disturbing, we are only playing the audio.
The angle of the action shot. You live, you die. You live, you die. You live, you die. Sadly, in my movies, everyone dies. I get the Oscar. Goes once for yes, goes twice for no. Oh geez, there was two gasps. But you're resisting me. Okay. So here's the throat, here's the hair, here's the string I've got. I've got a string going. Okay, I'm gonna pull the string quickly. Yeah, it's all tartarized. Just put your face forward, you stupid. Do people have to be taught how to die these days? After 112,000 years of evolution, you haven't learned to die with. Huh? I don't have time for you. I'm drinking time. I've got a bottle of whiskey still to go through, and it's already like come on, just take one for the team. Huh? Take it for the team. Take it for the team. I know this is like weird, but swallow it. Just fucking swallow it. You to carry your swing ass down to my car and go dump you somewhere, huh? You just up my entire evening. Just finish, please. I'm tired. I need to go on straight and narrow. Just stop.
After hearing that, the I don't remember defense starts sounding less like confusion and more like strategy. Detectives then bring up something else, his searches.
While you were on your trip, another thing that you were looking up is basically making a confession to the police on your deathbed. Something you Googled, something you were searching. Can you tell me about that?
I did not do that.
Well, it was in your search history on your Google.
I did not search making a confession on my deathbed. I did not do that.
Anybody else have your phone while you were gone?
No. My wife and myself were together. She doesn't know how to use a phone at all. No, I did not Google it. Whoever told you that is telling you a lie.
But again, the pattern stays the same. Deny, deflect, claim someone else did it, claim he can't remember, claim he didn't search it. Then detectives play more footage and watch him closely.
I just cannot understand why I would do something like this. And that's what your question is. Why would I do that?
I mean, we know you did it. You know you did it. We're just looking for, and there may not be a why that you think is reasonable, right?
Yeah.
But there is a why as to what happened. We might not know why it happened, but you know what happened. You're gonna see what happened. You're gonna see what you did.
I just don't know why would I get angry like that?
You're not angry.
Yeah. So you said
no. You're very calculated. You're narrating in it.
Why would I say I've got an audience?
I'm not saying that you have an audience, but you're clearly talking to. You're not just talking to her. What do you think up until that point?
That girl's dying.
That's the moment the mask slips. Even if he tries to hide behind confusion, he's still reacting like someone who recognizes what's happening. And then detectives ask about the truck.
The one thing I wanted to ask you is your truck. Did you ever wash it out, spray it out, anything like that?
After she was in it.
Body.
Are we going to find biological evidence in your truck? Did you bleach it? Did you wash it?
At the back, I had a piece of carpeting at the back, and there was a bit of blood on it. So I cut that piece of carpet out and I tossed it in a dumpster. And I did spray bleach on there to try and kill the germs and whatever.
And just when it seems like the interview is ending, Brian drops another confession that opens a second murder.
Some time ago, I can't remember when, I picked up a very drunk girl. My wife was gone. She was away for the weekend. I took her home, and I shot her. And I know you guys are doing good cop, bad cop. I know I'm gonna burn already. So, and I don't want you to have to waste your time.
We appreciate that.
But yeah, so I shot this girl, and then I went and dumped her out on that little side road going towards Butte. When you turn off the highway.
By the Exclusion power plant?
Yeah, around about that area, yeah. You must have found her.
You may have.
Yeah.
How long ago was that about?
Oh my God, 3 years ago.
Police later identify that woman as 52-year-old Veronica Abouchuk, an Alaska Native woman who had disappeared years earlier. Investigators connect the confession to remains discovered earlier, including a skull found near the Old Glen Highway area that showed a gunshot wound. From there, the case grows bigger. Search warrants, digital devices, evidence from his home and truck, more corroboration, more proof. And even after all of this, Brian still tries to take pieces back in later interviews.
The person that I shot was a fictitious event. It was not Veronica. Veronica, if that lady was Veronica, that woman walked out of my house, Alicia and her got in a vehicle and they drove away. The story I told them was a story that Alicia and I had made up about driving around, you meet someone and take them home, they make you angry and you shoot them.
But by the time this goes to trial, the evidence is overwhelming. After deliberating on February 22, 2024, an Anchorage jury finds Brian Stephen Smith guilty on all 14 counts, including multiple murder-related charges and other serious offenses tied to the investigation. On July 12, 2024, a judge sentenced him to 226 years in prison. And when you look back, it wasn't one thing that exposed him. It was 3 disturbing details that connected like a chain. The secret recordings, where his own voice told him, the timeline, the hotel date stamps, the fatal contradictions, and the digital trail, tower pings, timestamps, and files that kept putting him in the same places at the same times. Now here's the question that still hangs over this case. Even after the verdict, Was this really the full story, or just the part he got caught recording? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more documentaries like this that break cases down step by step, like the video and subscribe for more.